Well, after a couple years of contemplation, I think we're now at a standpoint where we can make our thoughts a little more certain as to Avatar. Is this worth an expanded franchise? And to be honest with you, from my perspective, I honestly don't know. I mean, James Cameron has done some pretty strong releases and ones that he's obviously revered for. I really like, Terminator 2. It's one of my favorites. I think it's a more stellar film from him. Avatar, though, I watched it principally because I knew this was coming out, or they've been announcing this for years that these films were in development. But generally, I wanted to understand, how on earth is Avatar the leading film on the box office charts? Like, it's still the top favorite. I know it was competing for Avengers Endgame, for a little while, and then eventually it took back its top spot. But I'm still puzzled as to how. I mean, maybe partly the cast. Although I don't even think that would necessarily gauge it. I've heard a lot of talk about, like the visual imagery of Avatar, and perhaps for many people that's really brought them in. I've heard that apparently there's a park ride that people can go on, or some sort of exhibit, like some theme park, that people find interesting. But I still don't understand how on earth Avatar grossed the highest, because for me, on watching it, it's kind of a mediocre film, to be honest with you. I mean, the acting is fine. I mean, good cast range included Sigourney Weaver, who is an absolute draw for me always. But the film, even like in the visual imagery, I thought the story was kind of like traditional action adventure type stuff. And then the visuals themselves didn't convince me until probably about the second act. Other than that, it looked fake to me, and it kind of looked a bit cheap. Now, I didn't watch it on Blu-ray. I watched it on DVD. So maybe there's a necessity for a higher quality of viewing. But even then, I don't know. I'm still kind of puzzled as to how on earth this got top tier at the box office. Feel free to fill in down below if you have better insight, or maybe something a little more concrete. I just don't know. But at the very least, I think we can all answer the question today: is this worth 4 sequels presently? In terms of a franchise. I mean, this is what's breaking, or what is scheduled to break up Star Wars entries. This is what they were saying, that Star Wars is going to be like every 2 years, and then in terms of films, I don't know what they're doing now, but Avatar is going to fill in the gaps. Like, I just don't know if Avatar has the legs to... I don't know. Is it like a one-hit wonder? Is this going to continue on like this? Like, this is going to be higher than the first? I don't know. I don't think so. But let's look. Let's gauge it from a teaser trailer perspective. Again, early days, but now we have something. So at the very least, it's not just, conjecture anymore. We can actually see part of, what the envisionment is here. I just don't know if this is going to work. Okay, in terms of, technology, those visuals look better. I mean, the world has advanced long, in terms of the, what they can do in cinema now and VFX since the first Avatar. I mean, the water stuff is kind of cool looking. I don't remember, it's been a little while since I saw the first film, but some of the landscapes are nicely designed. And to be fair, the visual imagery here is much more reminiscent of the second half for me. I'm starting to feel, again, the immersion. The water stuff is like very Disney animation fairy tale type stuff. So I'm like, well, I can see why it appeals with the brand. Even though this is a Fox picture.
Wherever we go.
Or I guess technically 20th Century Studios.
This family. Is our fortress.
There's some cool shots here. I just don't know. And in terms, of a Christmas debut, is this more like a summertime movie? I don't know. There's a lot of questions here, but I will say to the movie's credit, and I don't remember all the story details. Again, as I said, it's been several years since I've seen that first Avatar, to be specific. There will obviously be a trailer coming out. This is a teaser. In the time between this and then, I will go back and rewatch the movie, and perhaps by then I'll be able to give it more concrete analysis that's not necessarily just based on memory. But I just don't know if this has the potential to be like well, it could be a big franchise. But I didn't feel the story was that strong originally. Maybe the whole intention is it's the visual imagery that's going to really carry the movie, and that you just get lost in the world of Pandora. That might be it. And to be fair, again, as I said, I think with the first film, it was around the second half of the movie. That's when it started to click for me in terms of the visual imagery. Other than that, and everything in the first part, it just felt disjointed. And it felt a bit, if I remember, I think I said it was a bit glossy, but it just didn't look right. This looks better. All the water shots look excellent. Anything themed around the creatures underneath, whether it be from a surface perspective or an underwater perspective, all that looks good. I mean, the shot here of like the world in the background, that's pretty beautiful. It might just be like the visuals are so luminescent here, but that's what carries the movie and drives in the overall audience. I'm just, I look at it from perspective too. It's not just visuals that sell your movie. It's a good story too. And the casting was great. I'm just kind of like, I don't know. The story really didn't carry it for me. So I'm not sure. I mean, time will tell. And this is, again, just more so a teaser into like the overall look at the world of Avatar and the sequel film. So they're going to stress the visuals, I'm sure, much more here than they will in the trailer, which will dive more into story. What are your thoughts? Again, like I said, maybe, I guess it's open to interpretation, right? Film is subjective. So for those of you who might have a better inkling as to why the film got such a prominent receipt or list of receipts in regard to its box office on a first entry, feel free to fill in details down below, as well as your overall opinion on this movie. But I'm just kind of like, I don't know yet if this warrants big franchise a part of its story. But maybe the visuals, maybe it'll rest on it. Maybe the story, you'll hear the reviews and it'll be kind of, maybe the quality of the first one. But the visuals are so luminescent and people are so invested in the overall look of being in the world of Pandora that might be the fantasy in itself that brings people in. That's what this trailer stresses. I think the visuals are much more improved compared to the first movie. Like, everything feels better unified here. I think it's very much a time will tell situation. Like I said, I will watch Avatar anticipation for another trailer coming out, so that'll better fill me in. But I think it's a good first impression on a visual level. We'll have to see how that extends to other facets of the movie going forward. And answering that overall question will be the responsibility, I think, of both the film and, the marketing campaign to a degree. How invested are people going to be with the world of Avatar? And does this have the legs to be a mainstream franchise? One equitable to Star Wars, I would say, in regard to the fact that it's taking up some of its release dates for the Christmas season and the next couple years going forward. Does this warrant big franchise material? It's a question that in time I'm sure the answer will become maybe more concrete, or maybe we'll be left guessing. Who knows? Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.